is 43,000 screens that they service for medical clients around the US. I mean, in Texas alone, there were thousands and thousands of displays just in the state of Texas alone. So anyway, after meeting with pre-sales both in EMEA and here in the US, and one of the business unit leaders out of EMEA that provides kitting, which we didn't even know we had at Stephanie, that there was kitting capabilities. I think we agreed, at least the pre-sales lead on this, his name is Roy Oakes, and I agreed that we're going to have to put together a partnership for logistics on one hand and warehousing and all of the stuff that goes with that, fulfillment arm, and then we're going to have an integration partner as well to participate in this RFP. But it is a big piece of business that we're very interested in, provided we can have the right partnerships. And the reason why I wanted you involved is because you've developed a relationship with DHL as part of the kitting and partnership, kitting and fulfillment arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something that they would be keenly interested in. And so we've already got a meeting set up with LG for the displays.
Okay.
We already have a partnership with BrightSign. BrightSign is the preferred partner on this for the players. Now we're just looking for logistics, fulfillment, and integration and service as the other partner. So I think with two partners, so Stefanini would be one leg of the stool, DHL would be the other leg, and then whoever our integration partner is. And we're not just looking at traditional integrators. Certainly we need to have that in our back pocket as one of the fulfillment avenues. But also companies like Geek Squad, or there's a couple of them like that, Computer Center, a couple of big sort of integration and service arms for technology companies. I think Geek Squad is owned by Best Buy, if I'm not mistaken. And Computer Center works on their own, but they do big fulfillment as well. We have to be a little bit careful because Computer Center is also a competitor to Stefanini in some respects. Thoughts? Ideas?
Okay.
For me or Sri or both of us?
Anyone?
Well, the idea of reaching out to Geek Squad is a little bit interesting to me. But I mean, if we just need hands to do it, yes, Cat. Cat agrees with my interest, apparently. I don't know if you could hear her meowing. But yeah, I think Sri, with your relationship to DHL, I mean, that's one option we can reach out to. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the whole thing. I'd have to dig more into the document myself, but I think we just talked about this a minute, James, so I'm interested to hear what Sri has to say.
I'm just analyzing that document.
I'm open to any channel that can provide fulfillment, installation and service. Obviously the logistics and warehousing, I think, we're limited to a few partners that we know can actually do that. But as far as the actual installation and service, I'm open to any ideas, including Geek Squad or traditional AV, if you can think of any other partners, Sri, that you know of that might be able to provide that.
Yes, I'm just summarizing that one. I put it in
You're
the
on
chat.
mute if you're trying to talk to us.
Oh, I am talking on mute, sorry. So I have put it in the chat, our possibilities. Technical in that document, they are asking for patient point is looking for a service provider to manage life cycle or 1, 2, 3, 4 item. Oh, dispatch of digital devices. 145,000 digital devices are there.
Yep.
James, it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, it's massive.
That's why we're trying to get all hands on deck on this one.
So we are planning to provide the utility service over there.
Well, we need to have that conversation with them. The RFP lends itself to remote monitoring, right?
Huh.
That they could be much more efficient about deploying field resources with remote monitoring that allows us to remotely reset these bright sign devices, right? And then maybe talking to Utility about writing an API for better control beyond just restart. Because right now, these are only on or off, right? That's all we can see with bright sign. We don't have any other visibility into it. We can turn it on and turn it off, but we can't, all we can tell is it up or is it down? We don't have any other control because they don't have an API for bright sign.
Let's don't stuck to one vendor. Like we will try for other solutions also. So since these devices are massive, they will be concerned about the cost also.
So what do you mean by that?
See,
And how would that work logistically? How would we get to an answer to this RFP without partnering with somebody?
Because my point over here is that if our existing solution has any limitations, right, that doesn't match with them, let her find have a backup, right, who can provide those services. Like you said, like this Utology don't have a direct API services with BrightSign, so then always we will be on back foot, right? So when proposing a solution to them, we should study thoroughly, right? Do we have any competitors for this one? Definitely there will be, right?
I think there are very few people that are going to be able to put together this kind of alliance and service this business. And remember, we have the opportunity to have other conversations with them like, hey, look, you should look at remote monitoring as a way to reduce the cost of your field resources,
Yes,
right? So it's not set in stone, and we have the capability to propose something new to them.
correct. What the existing solution that they are maintaining? Do we have any idea how they are managing currently how they are managing their environment?
They're using 100 different vendors
Okay,
to patch this together, and that's the problem, right? They're using local vendors in almost every location, trying to get this done. So it's a hodgepodge of, different people who are responsible. And that it's not producing the results that they need, obviously, right? At some point, your scale is so large that you can't manage your service. You can't manage, your installs become a logistical nightmare. Your kitting is almost impossible. They're doing kitting in-house, and that's not what they're designed to do. They're not a logistics company.
yes. So again, our Stephanie's possibility, I again posted in our chat. So logistically, so if they are do they ask for any replacement, any time frame is there? If any issues happen for particular displays, what the time frame they are expecting to get it replaced?
The timelines are in there. We have to submit our questions by, I believe, by tomorrow, which is
Okay,
kind of a bummer because we won't have all the time we need, but I'm counting on all three of us putting our
okay,
heads together and asking as many questions as we can.
okay,
Um, but yeah, I mean, we have a very limited amount of time and it's a massive lift to try and get this done.
okay. So that is one question, right? What the time frame they are expecting, right?
Yeah, so it's in the RFP. It has a timetable in there. Now they're saying they're gonna come back by the 17th with answers to questions. I don't see how if we submit them at the end of day tomorrow, they're gonna answer all those questions by Friday. So I'm guessing those timelines will slip. And we can ask Roy Oakes, who's our pre-sales contact on this, to see if we can get an extension.
Okay, so possible questions that we have to ask, that also I have pasted in the chat.
Well, a lot of this stuff you need to go through first. And then put that stuff in the chat, because a lot of this stuff is answered in the RFP.
Hmm. Okay.
So we don't want to ask questions that have already been answered in the RFP.
Okay.
That makes us look like we haven't read it. So go through that, take some time, go through it as best as you can. I'd like you to focus, Sri, on the logistics part.
Okay.
What can we do for kitting and fulfillment? Right?
Actually,
And
that's it. This is a good opportunity.
I'd like you to look at the SLAs,
Okay.
because that's going to be important for kitting and fulfillment.
Hmm. So actually, this is a good opportunity for us because they are focusing on the volume, right? Previously,
Yeah.
we are requesting them to support us, right? If we can club it together, definitely it will be we will be a potential customer for them.
Agreed. And I think this really plays into our strength, because they're going to be looking for someone who can provide the whole package
Yes,
end to end.
correct.
And so it's really probably not going to be as much of a price war as it is going to be who has the best logistics, fulfillment, and service plan, right?
Yeah.
Who can actually execute on this on such a large scale.
Yeah. Actually, our possibility is that there is no ready-made solution for logistics. The people are well and good in logistics. They never handle the other things, right? So we are trying to customize the solution. I think this is a good chance, James.
Yeah, I think it's one we could definitely win if we put together a smart enough plan with quality partners.
Actually, these logistics companies will be interested in these things because now their running cost is high, right? And for most of the
Yeah.
areas, their flights are down. So they will be trying to get some massive opportunities.
Well, it's a big enough opportunity also.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other piece. So what I'd like to do is find a partner who can do install and service
Hmm.
On one end. We may be able to bundle. Actually, I don't want to do that. I was going to say we could bundle the product under Stefanini, but the reality is we don't want the RMA nightmare or headache if something breaks down, or replacing screens or all of that. So you're better off whoever your install partner is doing the product fulfillment, because we're really just talking about a few different sizes of displays, some touchscreen displays, some non-touchscreen displays, and bright signs. And that's it. So having them provide the product so that they can provide the service cleanly without us having to do any of the logistics on that. Because I think we would be quickly overwhelmed with that many devices in the field. What was it, 140,000 devices, 125,000 devices, something like that.
Yeah.
We would be quickly overwhelmed in the field by something like that. So, and then the other piece that we're going to have to structure is, obviously they're going to have somewhere to call in to report these issues. They want to use ServiceNow, but they want us to provide the ServiceNow instance. So ServiceNow was Stefanini for ticketing. So we have to have a way to tie in these guys to the ServiceNow platform so that they can submit tickets in some way that's easy for all of those locations to easily submit a ticket, or call into a help desk and have that, call trigger a service ticket. So really, I see it as those three pillars, Sri. So product fulfillment, installation, and service with one partner. Logistics and, just in time delivery with the logistics partner.
Mhm.
And then us doing the management, the remote monitoring piece and management of all of the other trades, right? The other two trades.
Hmm.
And, you know, working with the manufacturers for to make sure that that relationship is strong. I don't see why we can't provide the BrightSign licensing. That can come under the Stefanini umbrella. Because that's not one that's tied to an RMA or to service, and we can easily manage that. So that way we get that revenue as well. Yeah, but this all together combined, tucked under the Stefanini umbrella, is a massive opportunity.
Great. James,
Thoughts?
regarding this DHL, right? They have already tie up with the HP. So when I have a conversation with them, they are telling that when some issue happen in any of the sites, that HP has directly integrated with their website. So whenever some issues happen, it is automated, right? So from that particular location, that is routed directly to DHL, so they can ship directly. But there will be a integrator like coordinator in between. So since we have the possibility to automate those things, that we can DHL is providing their APIs. So whenever some issues happen, directly it can be reached out to DHL through our platform. So I think that is also a good way to reduce the time frame to provide a service to them. We can pitch that one
To
also.
DHL?
Yeah. So DHL
Yeah,
is
maybe, except that then we close ourselves out of the ServiceNow business, which I know we're gonna want,
okay.
right? That's the only issue with that I see, Sri. I
Mhm.
mean, it would be just as easy we have call centers, right?
Mhm.
And we can staff those call centers accordingly for the call-in service.
Mhm.
It's no difference if they call us or they call DHL. So I don't know. I don't know if we want to close ourselves out of that business because ServiceNow leads to a bunch of other businesses. It's a gateway for other services that we could offer them. When we
Okay.
talk about predictive analytics, we talked about predictive analytics. We talk about, product failure rates, all those kind of things that we can start to use our AI services to extract from ServiceNow.
Mhm.
I think that changes that equation a little bit, and we don't want that to sit with somebody else.
Mhm.
That would be my only hesitation about not having DHL do that part of it.
Okay. And now DHL is not doing it directly. So what I am saying is HP will be having a platform. So that request from the client will come to HP, and HP that request automatically triggered to DHL. So that service from the HP is white labeled. So I'm not saying that DHL will doing it directly. Even the customer won't be having idea DHL is doing that one. Our name will be there. So what DHL is doing, that DHL is providing API that can integrate it to any other companies. So that to reduce the delay.
Yeah, so again, my issue is then we're having HP provide a service desk, basically,
Yeah, no,
which is a service we
correct. HP,
offer.
yeah, HP can be replaced with the Stephanie.
So why would we use HP when we offer that service ourselves?
No, it's with DHL is providing that service to HP. The same service can be provided to Stephanie also. So we can white label the DHL services. So customer will be having an idea that entirely Stephanie is coordinating this one. So like I show you,
Okay.
so
Again, my concern is that we're closing off an avenue of service that we offer
mhm,
by offering that to to a third party.
okay.
If we already offer the service that HP is going to provide us, even if
Mm,
we're white labeling their service,
mhm,
only if it's more profitable than our in-house service, would
mhm.
that be a good idea, right?
Yeah. So
So I guess we'd have to evaluate it and say, is it going to be more profitable to have HP white label that as a Stefanini service? And if it is, that's great. That's less we have to do, but it's reliance on yet another partner.
yeah. So that was my first proposal, right? Uh, we have to
Yeah.
win this project rather than uh, putting all the services from Stephanie and increasing our cost. So we can utilize, definitely they will be searching for some other opportunities also, right? So our proposal should be cost effective, not cost effective like premium with good service delivery. So we shouldn't be pushing all the services, right? You know, the other services from Stephanie is costly, right? So this is a
Yeah.
massive opportunity. Definitely they will be getting much more quotation from every department. So we should
Well,
evaluate the market availability of other solutions also, so that we can propose
yeah,
the things accordingly.
you might be right, and it may be that the savings from not having that internally by just buying it, purchasing it from HP and white labeling it would give us the financial freedom in our proposal to offer the remote management piece and build into that Uteligy building an API for BrightSign so that we
Great.
have the ability to manage both and network. All these displays can be networked, so we have the ability to manage the display and the BrightSign remotely so that we rely far less on field services.
Hmm.
And that could be a real winner for us when it comes to the customer. The customer's going, oh, wait, these guys are thinking ahead. We don't need 1,000 feet in the field going out to check these devices. If we've got all of this remote management that can diagnose, restart, resync to the proper output, on the display or proper input on the display, um, we're not going to need as many feet on the ground. And that's a huge cost savings, right? And how we're implementing the whole solution.
Yeah.
So,
What's your thought,
uh,
James? Who will be competing with us? Do you think, because integrators
yeah, we
directly can
don't
do
we
that?
don't really know. Integrators aren't going to be able to do all of this. There's just
Hmm.
no way. It's too massive.
Yeah.
I would say you're looking at the very big digital signage companies like Scala, the
Hmm.
people that do deployment also.
Hmm.
Those guys are going to compete with us. The question is, they're still going to have to partner with somebody on the service side, which I assume they're already doing for these massive networks. Like I know one, for example, Scala did. There's a big car dealer in Oregon. They're all over, but they're a lot of them in Oregon, particularly Southern Oregon. Mike, you know who they are? I can't think of their name off the top of my head. Massive car dealership company, and they have digital signage in every car dealership around the nation where they're involved. And Scala did the fulfillment on that. So I imagine those massive companies are going to be our competitors, but they're used to just digital signage deployment. They're not used to touch screen deployment and, having to internally go into that touch screen and recalibrate it and do anything like that. So there's going to be some advantages we have that are likely, when you look at the big picture, going to be big advantages to a customer like this. Because I don't think it's going to come down to cost. It's going to come down to who has the best, cleanest, most easily deployable or effectively deployable plan, that shows them every facet from purchase all the way through service. And then, maybe shows them also, like I said, predictive analysis that says, hey, look, you're getting failure on these devices. Maybe we should look at a different device because it's not within the service window. And that can apply to both displays and signage players, right? So that we can give them that information and they can make the system more robust over time.
I think doing this all together, we have limited competitors. So if we pitch it
I
directly,
agree.
yeah. So that's the
I
feeling
agree.
I do get from the Jitex also when I visited that Dubai, right? So when I
Mhm.
was explaining our portfolio, right, most of the companies are interested, right? So they don't want to reach out to multiple companies. So I didn't
Yeah.
because that's the one location where we can find all the integrators, right? Software solution, all those things. So all of them are focused on one particular niche, right? Um, I think our profile is something entirely different. And Stephanie is have a thought to expand in other regions also, like we do it all, right? If you propose that way also, definitely if the revenue is there, I think they will put some fund to that one also, right? So
Yeah, we're finally getting closer to we make everything.
yeah. So let's do it. This is our
Yeah.
opportunity.
Exactly.
Uh,
No, I like this. I think let's break it down into the different segments. The purchasing, equipment purchasing, license purchasing, kitting and logistics, and then delivery and install, and then service, and then remote management. I think if we identify all of those segments and we really flesh them out
hmm.
into a unified plan, I think we can really present something that's really elegant for this customer.
Yeah, I'm already using AI to kind of bust this up a little bit to where we can divide and conquer this one.
Is this you who's presenting?
Yeah. It's opening.
And he's already beat me to the punch with his infographics.
He
I'm just
learned how
working
to
on
spell Stefanini. That's good.
Challenge
That's
scale.
new.
it only took him what 6 months.
I gave you a hard time last time because you spelled Stefanini, Steph.
This device, I will train my agent.
Steph Curry, Nini.
Turnkey solutions, pre-deployment
What was it?
configuration.
Oh, you were doing EMEA as EMIA or IMEA or one of the others, something like that.
Project management office, AI-powered field support. Right, these the things I think from the Stefanini's point of view, technician mature government element, seamless platform integration, robust risk management, metric sources, asset tagging, dispatch cancellations less than, so provider satisfaction. So these are the things that we have explained in our website.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little distracted by some of the gibberish that's on here.
Yeah, I think we need to focus. I like this, Sri. This is a great start, but we need to focus it a little bit more on the areas that I mentioned before. And make sure that we have a solution for each one of those portions of the overall project, right? Because each one of those is going to be critical to the success of the project. And so if we address them in that way, we break it down into those, I think that, what did I say, six areas? I think we'll be more successful in providing an end-to-end solution that looks like it's, not stitched together. It was a purpose-built plan.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch all 6 of those portions that we were talking about. I have licensing,
So-
logistics, procurement, service, installation.
Yeah, so we may want to even add one more on the front end, forecasting. Right? So forecasting, purchasing of the equipment, staging and logistics. Right? How are we going to stage them? Are we staging them regionally? Are we staging them nationally? How are we staging them? And then logistics, how are we delivering that product as a kit? And are we delivering it to the integrator or to the end customer site? One of the things that they note in the RFP is that they want no more than 1 day disruption at each site. So it will be better to probably to land it at the integrator and have them only interrupt the site for a few hours to install it. And we can note that in our plan. And then after that, the actual installation piece and project management piece, I think kind of go hand in hand there. And then on the back end, service. And then our predictive analytics beyond that. And I think on the front end with purchasing, you're going to want to put licensing up there somewhere. That may just be a subcategory under purchasing, right? There's a couple of these might be subcategories.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, I'm thinking off the top of my head, so if I've missed something, by all means, fill it in.
Yeah,
I'm just, like I said,
field installation maintenance. So you covered most of the things like the procurement, this pre-deployment configuration, the project management, field installation. Correct.
yeah, field installation part.
No, I think everything except forecasting is something I already kind of had written down. They were just a little broken up a little bit. Like I had logistics and customs broken up, but I guess that kind of all files on the same thing. Warehousing goes with logistics, installation, project management. I have field service and remote support kind of combined together. Because I mean, I'm gonna have to dive more into it, but are they expecting us to have people on site, kind of like what Craft does, or is this?
No, you're talking about clinics, right? So it would be a dispatch model, but the problem is with that many displays, you're gonna spend a fortune on dispatch, right? If something goes wrong, let's say in 100, let's just say, let's pick a number, let's pick a really conservative number and say 2% of those devices will have trouble during the year. Well, do your math, 2% of 145,000, you're talking, over 3,000 separate service calls in a year, right?
Yeah.
It's, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're right. That's almost 3,000. And I mean, if we're even talking like $150 an hour for smart hands, that's $500,000 basically. And that's 1 hour.
Exactly. So if you could mitigate that with remote management, it's going to pay for itself very quickly. And then add to that the power management feature of Utelligy to mitigate it even further. And you're really making a proposal to them that is very efficient and spends their dollars wisely. So
Yeah.
I think these are all things we have to kind of pull together so it looks like a really integrated plan. And like I said, not something that's been patched together with multiple suppliers. We're going to have to do that stitching on the back end, but to the customer, it should look like a smooth integrated plan.
Maybe I missed it, but does it have a list of like kind of general locations or anything?
It's only in
It does. They're in
US, right?
there.
I don't
Only in the
see
US,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It must be in the accompanying documents.
Yeah, it's in the supporting docs.
I was not looking at that. I will open that.
That's right. And it actually has, you can see on there that LG is more than half of their devices are LG.
So currently they have a suggestion, right? The client who is applying for this one should have experience of handling 50,000 devices in 10,000 locations.
Yeah. And it's not going well for them though. That's the problem. That's why they're reaching out to a company like us. Because we're more well equipped to do the project management and manage all the vendors and logistics and supplies. So
Yeah, they are expecting field support also. Project management, device
yeah, I
logistics,
think
device procurement, field installation, maintenance. Yeah, the complete package is there.
right. This is why I think we could propose to them this remote management piece as a way to mitigate some of the field support required. You can still have your network of service providers, right? Providing service if something breaks down. But if you've got remote management that can update the firmware, go in and restart that machine, make sure that the input on the display is set properly, all of those things, each time you're doing that, rather than sending out a service call, you're saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And when you add that up over the number of devices, and as we said, probably 3,000 calls a year, that is a huge amount of money that we could be saving them and not having to dispatch some kind of service technician or field service.
And
Oh, I see the list now.
Mm.
Oh, Jesus.
So if that call comes in, goes through ServiceNow, and we see it, we can go in right away and possibly provide immediate remediation far faster than we could get somebody to site.
And they themselves is mentioning that service now, right, should be there.
Yeah.
We should use or equivalent ITSM platforms we have to use.
No, they want us to use ServiceNow, but they want us to host it, which is fine.
And we have
It's
the solution we are providing should be interoperable with Salesforce, NetSuite, and Locker. That's what they are utilizing currently.
yeah. Again, ServiceNow integrates with Salesforce, so I don't think that's an issue at all.
Hi, James.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a little research here, trying to see how we can do service for all those devices. Have you heard of an Interactive Digital Solutions company called Interactive Digital Solutions?
I have not.
Okay.
They might be one of those big signage companies that, does deployment like Scala.
Yeah, I wonder if we can find somebody like that to help us partner with that. Sort of like, instead of like a full AV integrator, because they're just pretty much doing signage for the most part. I mean, we don't,
Yeah.
and we just, if we need to have somebody like dispatch, it can reach out to an integrator, but I don't really think that anybody would handle the smaller stuff, because I think I saw one of the pages, there was some signage, but I think they were doing like remote, like webcam visit, like virtual sites or something like that. So I don't know if maybe we
telemedicine. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, are we okay? I mean, I don't know if we want to go full digital signage with someone like that who would just specialize in that, and then it's like, oh, we don't know what to do in this situation. But an AV integrator probably wouldn't help with any telehealth stuff, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think a traditional AV vendor is not our best route.
Yeah,
I
no.
think they're heavy, they're cumbersome, they
And
are admin laden in terms of costs that are unnecessary for this type of project.
Mhm.
So I would prefer to have someone far more agile that's used to doing these very small installs, quick in and out, that kind of thing.
James, if the client is ready to pay us, right, why can't we hire some installers?
Hire whoever we want. It's not the point. The point is whoever we hire has to have a footprint big enough to cover the entire United States, including Alaska. Right? So they have to have a big enough footprint or at least a reliable partner network to be able to handle the footprint of all these expensive hospitals.
James, your audio is breaking up.
Audio is breaking.
Sorry about that. We can hire whoever we want and it would be seamless to the customer. But it really has to be somebody who has a big enough network out there that they're not just calling some random company in the locality where we need this, right? Because you're going to have inconsistent results then, as opposed to having one real throat to choke, which is somebody like a Geek Squad or a Computer Center or somebody that's like Mike just mentioned, that company maybe, right, that has a big presence in terms of footprint and is used to doing this quick in and out, quick install, very quick. I mean, this shouldn't take more than a few hours on site at each site, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like a traditional integrator in this role, because I don't think a traditional integrator would perform well. They're not built for that kind of quick service and speed.
And they're bulky too.
Yeah, they're administrative heavy, they're expensive solution for what we're looking for. And you never know what their queue is going to look like in terms of install or service.
Yeah,
Whereas somebody who's dedicated to this kind of business is going to be able to give you a window and say, okay, here's what we would charge to do it within this window, no matter what. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to make a comment. Yeah, I'm just looking at their list and they've got like hundreds and hundreds of cities scattered across a lot of different states in the US. Like, And a lot of locations too, like a lot, especially in like, you know, the big three I'm seeing: California, Florida, Texas. And
Texas, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, an integrator has the reach, but they're not going to have the bandwidth to jump out every time we need them to fix a signage everywhere. And it's going to be a lot of signage players and everything.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we're not expecting them all to break it simultaneously, but at the same
That's the
time,
thing.
like,
They're not gonna have the agility.
yeah,
And that's really what we need here is somebody far more agile. That's why we're looking at a company like a Geek Squad or, somebody that's used to doing a few hour dispatch in virtually every city in America, right?
and we can still reach out and do smart hands, like if absolutely necessary. Like we've got the Field Nation outreach we can definitely do if it comes down to it, and that's usually pretty quick. And if we can isolate down who, you know, some key players in those areas, like we can probably get that down quite a bit. But it would have to be like central locations. Like we're not expecting
Yeah.
someone in Oregon, like based in Portland, to go out, you know, 3-4 hours out there. Like we'd rather have
Well,
somebody out there.
maybe we propose it as a hybrid too. Maybe we say, okay, in your very large locations, let's say a Texas hospital that has 400 of these screens installed in one hospital, maybe there we do propose a field service tech, an AV tech.
Mhm.
That all they do is handle these issues and, coordinate with the vendors for on-site access and all of that stuff. So, I mean, that's certainly something we can propose if the site is big enough and justifies it.
Or even a certain region. Like if, I mean,
Yeah,
I can't,
yeah,
I can
it
only
could be
see like
regional.
general. I all I
Yeah,
know is the number of cities and everything. But like, sure,
LA is a great example of that, or DFW, right? Dallas Fort Worth.
yeah, we
There
got
might
one
be
or two
20,
people.
30, 40 facilities in that little radius there that could be serviced by one technician.
Yeah,
So we need to keep thinking like this creatively. Let's get outside of our normal line of thinking and think about how we could fulfill this best in terms of speed and reliability. And then, sort of think outside the box when it comes to how we wrap all of this up into one big proposal, one big service, including asset management, I think is going to have to be part of this.
bad ledger.
But most of your logistics company do asset management as well. We would do license management. Yeah, so we just have to keep thinking this through and go through the RFP in detail and then come back together tomorrow afternoon and let's sort of talk about what we've come up with in terms of questions to the end customer. And the thing we have to be careful of is the questions go out to everyone.
Yeah.
So we may want to hold off on any kind of remote management questions at this point. And not tip off our strategy in that case. But any other questions, but just be thinking that they're going to go to everyone, right? So how we word them is going to be important. So we're not giving anybody an advantage.
James, the technician dispatch, um, 2 business days, right? That's their request. I think they are not.
In the RFP,
Yeah,
yeah.
proposal and
I
pricing
mean,
validity.
that's
It is for 180 days. So how it
But
can be
even two
valid for
business
180 days?
days, even 2 business days might be rough for a traditional integrator,
Yeah.
right? They're
that's
not
why.
used to the,
And yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to what we've been dealing with, you know, diversified AVI SPL, the big guys. Like they only want they want the big $1 million projects. Like they'll service the small stuff if, you know, if it's something they've installed, but they're not gonna, you know, pull away a dedicated tech from, you know, one of their major sites in Texas to handle digital signage. Like they're not gonna do that just for us, even if it's a big, unless we have like, we would have to have a specific SLA with them, sort of like, you know, Elite Care, whatever AVI SPL has. Like we would have to have an agreement, but that comes out of our pocket, and then we'd have to charge the end client that. If we have something with on a smaller AV vendor scale, or even if we have like 2 or 3 regional ones, we know who to reach out to. We can get them to handle some stuff like that if we have to.
yeah,
I'm
and these
looking to
big
see if like a
computer tech
small,
companies, they're
yeah,
used to that 2-day dispatch, right? They're not,
yeah,
they're not like a traditional vendor where they've got a service queue that's got 20 jobs deep in it and they got to find the labor. They're used to being on call like that for service calls. So I think we're much better off going that route personally and stay away
Especially
from the
something
big guys, right?
Yeah, especially in the healthcare. Like, there's a lot of people that do healthcare stuff, but I know there's more healthcare medical like equipment. But there must be someone out there that does a little bit of AV as well that we can have them do that. And if the company themselves have to fly their tech around, so be it. But I think we have enough. There's enough. It's not like craft where there's like maybe a handful of cities in the US and it's all globally. It's all in the US. So we can find just a US specific vendor. Like that's what I was Googling. Like, is there a US specific AV installer or digital signage installer? Someone like that. We don't have to go out anyone global. They just have to be in the US, essentially.
Well, you do have the big medical integration companies like Smith and Nephew. Who else? Compu Medical used to do that, but I'm not sure they're still in business.
Yeah, they probably got
All they did was AV racks for the operating room for hospitals.
what was the
Not
first one you
exactly the
said?
same.
Smith
Smith and Nephew.
Nephew. Thank you. He's down. Okay. There was someone, when I Googled something, it said a key US focused firm include Applied Global Technologies, specializing in government healthcare, level 3 audiovisual, they said noted for simulation spaces, and then interactive digital solutions. I have to Google these guys, but I didn't know if any of these
I'm gonna
guys.
nix level 3 right now. Level 3 is not a quality company.
Fair enough.
Very familiar with them.
They are mentioning CMMI level 3 agility or higher. They are expecting.
Yeah, so when it gets to that level, right, it's an L3 call. You need somebody who can diagnose and troubleshoot, which is why we need to have the remote management conversation with them.
Right, James, in the healthcare department is the only department where they never have a negotiation, right? So these companies will be having enough fund. So if we are able to propose a solution or we get this client, there are a number of clients that we can take this opportunity to. So we will be having an idea what their expectation is, right? There will be a ready-made
Yeah.
solution with us.
Well, it certainly gives us a much stronger footing in the digital signage world when we look for massive digital signage opportunities. I think the next logical step would not beyond healthcare would be retail. Right, and there are some very, very large retail digital signage opportunities out there. Nike, great one.
Hmm.
All those Nike stores globally, they all have digital signage and lots of it.
So something else just kind of pops into my head too. We talked about potentially if there's like a big like hospital or like a big cluster of cities, and we can maybe staff or maybe have one dedicated tech for all those sites. I wonder if we can also have somebody that's kind of AV specific that could also help out with other clients. Like, if we have somebody for Embraer or something like that, like sort of like cross help, sort of like what field service techs do. They sometimes have guys that hop between two different clients. I know I'm thinking a little bit outside the box on that one, but
I'm
that one
not
would have to
sure
be
on shared resources. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would be because if the customer is expecting a dedicated resource within a time window, how do we know that guy's not going to be busy with the other client, right?
That's fair.
Which I mean, that's not to say it can't be done. We have shared resources. They're just all on the phone, right, or online, as opposed to in person. Not sure how that would work.
Okay. No,
But it's, again, I appreciate every thought right now that you
Yeah.
guys are given. So there are no bad ideas right now. We're just freelancing, trying to come up with, options.
But James, I do have some experience with these medical companies who was newly launched in Hyderabad, right? When I was attending some interviews, I do have some, I forgot that name, but they prefer a dedicated resource in their environment because they can't afford a downtime, right? The operation theaters sometimes the operation happening lively will be telecasted to some other students, right? So they need a immediate resolution. So
Yeah,
those,
in that case, they would ask for an on-site technician,
yeah,
right?
dedicated resource should be there. So that's what they'll be preferring.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting. Maybe we give them a hybrid,
Hmm.
where there are certain locations where it may make sense to have a dedicated technician or like Mike said, a regional. I like that idea too, because you're going to be able to respond within, X number of hours, no matter where it is within that region. So yeah, something we need to think about as we read through this RFP. So let's do this. If we could dig into this RFP a little bit tonight and tomorrow morning, and then come back together tomorrow afternoon and review. Sri, I'm sensitive to your time zone and my time zone too. I don't
No
like any
issue.
meeting after
But
11 o'clock Mike's time.
these opportunities never come often, right?
What's that?
These opportunities never come often, right? It's once in a
Yeah,
blue moon happens,
yeah.
right?
So this is one I really am eager to nail down and bring into the AB tower. And it would just be an enormous piece of business for us,
It,
which
it,
allows us to get more resources.
yeah, see, even we will be more confident, right? We are not completely relying on car trains, so we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tomorrow I actually have a 4 a.m. call because Bruna set up a call with Victor tomorrow at like 4:15 in the morning. So if we want to meet anytime after then, I will apparently be awake at that time.
Will you have time to go through it by then, you think?
I mean, right now it's only noon. I've got time this afternoon. I had some other stuff I was gonna do, but if this takes is obviously higher priority, I'm obviously gonna jump on this like right now.
So
So
first thing, let's get the Embraer one out the door so that somebody's working on that, like Darren. And then
okay.
after that, yeah, for sure. Hold on, let me look at my schedule tomorrow. This is a schedule based on your time, Mike.
I've got availability before 7:30 in the morning my time, and let's say 5 a.m.
I am busy from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. your time. But after that, I have a gap of about 2 hours between seven and an hour and a half between 7 and 8:30, and then another gap between 9 and 11, and then there are some late meetings.
I Shri and I are on a service delivery call with Antonio starting at 7:30. That's an hour long, and then we've got that 8:30 call to check in on the renewal,
Well, let's
and then
do it
I've got a
right
call
after
at
that.
9. I have a
Uh,
call after that that's an AV operations meeting. I maybe don't have to be on that call because it's usually just they go over tickets and stuff locally, but um, I mean we can schedule it for then, and if I need to drop off to answer a couple questions, I can, but it would have to be the only real availability is like maybe 9:30 to 11.
okay, I'll schedule it right now at 9:30.
Okay,
We can
let's
go
just do
from
it now.
there.
Yeah, I can
Schedule
also do
it.
soup. I can also do earlier, like 5 a.m. if you want to, but I might not be mentally available.
Yeah, I have, like I said, a big block of stuff that I have to do during that time frame, so I would prefer to do
Oh,
it at
okay.
9:30.
All right, let's do it then.
Uh, let's go back. And this is patient point. RFP question review. You and Sri. Super weird. My scheduler's not working. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Tuesday. 9:30. Done. Okay. Meeting scheduled.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate you jumping on this late, Sri. I know it's late for you, so appreciate it. And we'll get back together tomorrow and see where we are.
James, thank you so much for that one. The thing is, they are expecting in the logistics department, inbound logistics warehousing with the 99% of inventory accuracy, and the next day turnaround for shipments. So DHL have that service, but it will be costly.
Okay, well, think it through, sleep on it, figure out what we need and just, when we meet tomorrow, let's everybody have their suggestions of what's needed, okay?
Sure.
All right,
All right, guys.
have a good one,
Just
guys.
sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.